Hi guys, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where I focus on free-to-play and PvE progression. Being free-to-play nowadays, I started out paying a bit of money for this account, but being free-to-play nowadays, I really try to avoid summon events where I don't get any guaranteed rewards, so fusions or guaranteed champions. However, 2x Primal Shard events are a bit special. Like, Primal Shards are a bit of the odd one out, like the weird shard that I personally always have trouble to find out what to do with those. And I have kind of been ignoring this event so far until shout out to Samuel, who has been commenting under my past video, asking about this event, asking if I am going for the Primal event, if we should be going for this event when we try to be efficient with our shards, basically. And so, yeah, shout out to him because he made me think about this 2x Primal event. It doesn't come along often, and it is definitely the best event for Primal Shards that we have in the game. I think there is two main things that we need to check on our accounts when deciding whether we want to go for this or not. But before I get to those 2 points, I really want to stress something here. The 2x Primal event is the best event that we have for Primal Shards by a long way. By a long way. I think the second best is probably when we have a fusion, or no fusion, just when we have a summon rush, and the points for Primal Shards are bumped up. That can happen from time to time, and yeah, instead of 1,800 points, we get 2,700 points. But do we really want to pull for that? I don't think so. So like I said, it's a long way between this 2x Primal event and any other event that we have for Primal Shards. So one of the big questions we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to use Primal Shards for mythicals, or do we want to use Primal Shards in order to try to accomplish fusions and try to get guaranteed events? And the next question, which comes immediately after or even before, do we need to use the Primal Shards in order to get fusions and in order to get guaranteed champions? I really feel like Primal Shards should be the last we use in order to get any of these guaranteed champions, because if we can get by with Ancients, Voids and Sacreds, there is no need to use Primals, and these are the only resource that we can use in order to get mythical champions. So that is definitely one thing that I would consider, especially looking at the upcoming fusions and events that come at Christmas. If we are, for example, in a bad situation, shard-wise, and we have, I don't know, 9 or 10 or 12 or 24 sacred Primal Shards here, and these Primal Shards might make the difference between us being able to go for a Christmas fusion or a Christmas guaranteed event or not being able to go for that, then I feel like probably save your Primal Shards, just because these Christmas fusions oftentimes are relatively strong and can have a pretty big impact on our accounts. I mean, it always depends on where you're at with your account. Do you feel like mythicals will have a much bigger impact on your account, or are the fusions already going to have a good impact on your account? That really depends where we stand at. Always keep in mind though, it's just a 1% chance to get a mythical from these Primal Shards. So on average, we'll need 100 Primal Shards. If we are unlucky and we don't get any, the mercy system is really bad. Not because of the chance increase by 10%, but because we need 200 Primal Shards in order to dip into mercy. So that's really, really painful. So I think this is the first big thing that we need to consider. Do we need the Primal Shards for something more important than the very small chance of actually getting a mythical champion from these? I think that is the most important thing in terms of being efficient that we need to look at. Just because I've been playing this game for like 5 years now, and I really feel like the best way to go about this game is by really looking for fusions and guaranteed champions, because otherwise it's just an RNG fest. Same thing with the Primals here, same thing with those. And then the other thing that we should probably look at before we open Primals here for this 2x event, and it is a great event, it is the best we can get for Primals, but the other thing we should look at is check our own roster. I've already mentioned this a bit. Check your roster and find out how much you actually need that mythical. We all do. We all do. If we are not crazy whales, we all do. What am I talking about here? That is what I would probably ask myself if I was watching this video. But like, looking at my account and also possibly looking at your accounts, we might have legendaries that we want to build at the moment and that can help us progress. and therefore it might not be the best time to get mythicals. Primal 2 times doesn't come around every day, that is true as well, but the Christmas time should be very interesting. And me, for example, I'm like still trying to find out what I can do with the turtles. I'm pretty occupied with that. I'm trying to build a couple of epics here. I just got Arbiter, I just got Xenomorph like everybody else. So there is a lot going on my account, and so I'm not too stressed, but I have the luxury situation that any champion, even mythicals, won't have the craziest impact on my account anymore because I have the turtles. So I'm in a bit of a special spot here, which is also why I'm certainly not going for the Primals event, even though I'm having a, pretty comfortable situation in terms of shards. I'm not worried about the Christmas events at all, but everybody has to decide that for themselves due to their own roster, I think. This is just the two things that I would really look at before deciding whether or not we want to open Primal shards here. Like I said, the 2 times events are the best events we have for Primals up till now. Maybe that will change at some point. I really don't think so. I really don't think so, but it might at some point. But I think the big question that we have to ask ourselves anyways is, do we need the Primals for something more safe, for something where we know that we are going to get value? Because we might open these Primals and honestly I could just get 24 rares, which would be so painful. It's not very likely. It's not very likely, but it is possible. Let's actually look at the chances of getting a rare here. Yeah, I think we forget that sometimes. It's still a 65, even on this 2 times event, it's still a 65% chance to get a rare. How painful could that be? I mean, I'm not trying to fearmonger here or anything, but with only a 97, like 3% chance to get a legendary or mythical, really do consider how much you want to go into the RNG fest of Plarium here. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Unfortunately, there is no right or wrong answer here. We all have to decide what we want to go for. Like I said, I feel like Primals are the odd one out. I would save all other shards for guaranteed events. The Primals, I totally understand if we open those during a 2 times event. Check your roster, check your shard count, and then make your decision. Guys, I hope this has been at least decently helpful. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you on the next one. And if you are opening Primals, best of luck with your shards.